Hey everybody, Chris here, and from Kavalam, India. I had a realization I wanted to share with you all as to why the law of attraction doesn't work. I was at I guess you could call it an event, like a learning event, and there was the shaman there that had been studying with some Tibetan masters. And he made this claim that the law of attraction just doesn't work, which kind of irritated me because I'd been working the law of attraction for the year up till that, more like a year and a half. And I don't know, some great changes happened in my life. You know, the law of attraction being that all of the universe is in your mind, and that all things in the universe vibrate. And so if you tune your mind to the vibration of what it is that you want, where it is you want to go, how it's going to taste, how it's going to feel, how it's going to smell, how it's going to look, and what the sound of your future is that you desire. Not even that you desire, just anything. If you're ever imagining the future and it has all of the senses associated with it, most people are focused on one or two senses. But if you learn to engage all of your senses in your imaginings, it becomes more powerful. It actually tends to manifest faster. That's the law of attraction. And the more specific you can be, the details of your senses in various circumstances in your imagining, that's just more variables that you bring under your control. And so, but I realized that there is a sort of limitation because we become attached to what we're daydreaming about, what we're imagining, what we're meditating on, and we become attached to, we want it to work, and if it doesn't start to work, maybe we work harder at that visualization, or maybe we became discouraged, or who knows. But there's a lag. First, you got to realize that there's a lag from when you're imagining to when it's going to manifest. Ideally, you want to be like, you know, a Jesus or whatever, and as soon as you imagine it, boom, there's 10,000 fish. You know, but most people, it takes longer than that. And what you got to know is, I have a program called the Silent Flute, and I'm teaching the progressions up to a meditation. And there's millions of ways to meditate. Every person that meditates, it has their own unique thing that they do when they meditate. And so in a way, there's a million different kinds of meditations. There's some common threads between them all, and one of them is that we want to create a kind of separation between what we associate our identity with and the part of us that's viewing those things. We have an identity, our name, our job, our passions, our goals, our memories, our relationships, all labels, basically words. Anything that has a word to it is something we're associating. That's an object. It's a symbol in the mind, which is an object in the mind. Anything that has a word is an object in the mind. And even beyond that, because you might have a feeling that you haven't put a word to yet, but anything like that, and then anything that you can observe. And so there's an observer. So within you, there's constructs of your mind, there's beliefs, there's objects of your mind, there's senses and feelings, and then there's an observer that's seeing all of these things. It's witnessing. Seeing connotes that it's like with your eyes, or it's a witness, it's an experiencer, the experiencer of these things. And so often, if you're working the law of attraction, or even if you don't call it that, if you're just visualizing your future, if you visualize and project your senses into the future of what it is that you want, but you're not doing it from the perspective of the viewer, then you're intermixed, you're entwined, you're entangled in this future that you're desiring, in this imagination, in this dream. And like, I just got my PhD. I'm a doctor in environmental sciences, and there's a principle in systems sciences, which is basically, it's like the science of fractals in ecology. It's like ecological fractals. So like from the microcosm up to the macrocosm, there's common principles that govern each system. That is, something like self-organization is a common principle that is in all systems, meaning a system tends to organize around certain features like claiming energy, retaining energy, and feeding back energy to sustain itself. That's a common theme of all systems. All systems, any system, the human system, the mind system, the fucking power plant system, the plant system, like a plant is a system of cells, each individual cell, so on. We're not going into that, but there's a principle in system science that's relevant here, and it is that no system can understand itself. A system can understand to some extent a larger system, it can understand to an extent a smaller system, even better than the larger system, but it's impossible to understand yourself. It's like the eyeball looking at itself. You can't do it. You can look in a mirror, but you're using the mirror. The eyeball can't look at itself. No system can understand itself. And so if you're entangled in the imagining, meaning you're associating yourself with it, you're identifying with the objects of what you're visualizing, then it's not going to happen. You have to become the viewer, because the viewer is the timeless. The viewer is is free of the cycle of conception, birth, living, death. The viewer is timeless. The viewer is always. Get that again. Let it sink in. The viewer is always. And so the viewer is the manifester. That's the Shiva. The Shiva is the viewer, is the manifester. The Shakti, the Maya, the feminine, the manifested is all the senses and the objects of your mind and the reality around you, the physical reality. That's the feminine. The masculine coerces, it pushes, it uses its intellect to organize the feminine, to organize the material reality. And so if you're working the law of attraction, and I highly recommend you work the law of attraction, and if you could get books on it, if you want a speed course in it, meaning like you want to get it good, you want to really get the fucking law of attraction good, you come to me, because I got the fucking knowledge that in 1 hour I'll fucking blow your mind on how to utilize the law of attraction for your own well-being. For example, I'll give you a little taste. You imagine where it is you want to go in the future. Whatever it is, imagine success. Whatever that means for you. Maybe success is feeding 1 billion people barefooted. Maybe success for you is, owning Trump Tower and, Trump working for you. I don't know. Just maybe you don't like Trump. Pick somebody. Jennifer Lopez working for. I don't give a fuck. One thing you got to do is engage your senses. One sense that's underutilized is hearing. So start to think about, what would that conversation sound like? Okay, so you're feeding 1 million people barefooted in Bangladesh. What does it sound like when you're doing that? What are the conversations sound like? What's the language of those conversations? Are you speaking English? Are you speaking the local language? Are you not speaking? Is it all nonverbal? Do you just hear footsteps? Are people crying? Are people happy, laughing? You got to engage your sense of hearing and tune it to exactly what it's going to be like, specifically. And that's one sense on one circumstance. I'll blow your mind with all the rest, but that's not the point of this video blog. The point is, first you learn to meditate so that you can separate the infinite from the finite. You view the objects of your imagination, and then you start to tell them where to go and what to do. But always maintaining the viewer. Watch what happens to me in my life right now. Watch the success that's about to happen. I just boosted my law of attraction tenfold this morning. And so much has happened. I went from being, a miserable PhD candidate that barely did any yoga, taught any yoga, to being, world traveling yoga instructor. That's now, my schedule is completely full with teaching events, and I just figured this one thing out now that I'm teaching it to you now for free. I'm making you aware of it. I'm not teaching it to you. The point is, if you're on Facebook, you join the Silent Flute program. It's a private group that I post videos that are cumulative. They're culminating in certain meditation practices that I'll show you how to separate emotions from viewer, so that you're no longer an effect, you're the cause, or you're at least the witness of it, so that no longer you're an effect. Some things you can't be a cause of. A family member dies or something, and it's, you feel something, and you don't want to detach from it. You want to stay with it because there's a lesson there. But you also don't want to identify with it like it is you. It is not you. That's false. Experience it, indulge in it, learn from it, witness it, project into the future what it is that you want, So if you already know how to meditate, you can start to do this. If you already know how to work the law of attraction, I just boosted it for you. If you already knew all this stuff, then you wouldn't be watching my YouTube right now, because you'd be a billionaire somewhere, making it happen, making your dreams come true. So that's enough for now. 10-minute video. Join the Silent Flute program. Like this video, share it, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for sure. Peace out. Namaste from Kavalam, India.